Well, I promised you a Flyers video, whether if anybody was asking for it or wanted it or not. And, we got a taste of Sister Jean early from, the lady from Loyola, Chicago University. March Madness a few years ago, she kind of became a popular figure when they made a run to where it was Sweet 16 or beyond, I believe. She was like in her 90s then. Now she's 104 years old. And they had her introducing the Loyola players. Which I guess she's still into all this. I hope she's still into all of this. I hope they're not just like, you know, I hope she's into it all still. That's all. She didn't really seem real into it. She was struggling. All she had to do was read five people's names, and she didn't seem real enthusiastic. Wasn't exactly a cheerleader, Sister Jean. So, all right. It started all right for the Flyers. They were up 7-3 early. A slow start overall. Good start for Holmes. Although he missed a couple of free throws early. If you could look at moments overall, like what could they have done? This little moment's here, a little moment there. Could have changed things. A couple free throws missed early, right before the half, too. Flyers were up by 6. They're forcing Loyola Chicago to take a bad shot, and then they foul the guy shooting a three-pointer. He makes all 3 free throws. So instead of being up 6, Dayton was only up 3. Didn't take long in the second half for Loyola to take the lead. Somewhere around 45 to 44, I think it was their first lead. Maybe about 15 minutes to go. Then Dayton retakes the lead. Almost looked like they were then taking command of the game. They were up, 2, 3, 4, 5 points most of the game, really. Somewhere around that 15-minute mark, they went back and forth a little bit. Dayton goes up by 5. And then with about 10 minutes to go, somewhere in that range, Santos picks up his 4th foul. He wasn't out long. They take him out of the game then. Loyola had started to pick up a little momentum. I think maybe the Flyers were up by a couple, maybe even down by a couple when he picked up that 4th foul. But that certainly was sort of the beginning of the end for Dayton. Like I said, he wasn't out long. Dayton may have tied it up at one point there late, 4 or 5 minutes to go, but then Loyola... They hit the big one was the 3 in the corner at the end. They were up by 2 points. We'll just fast forward right to the end. It was 72-70. Loyola was up 2. They had the ball. Dayton needs a big stop, And in fact, they were down 5. They had cut it to 3. Kind of seemed like maybe Dayton was trying to steal some momentum back. They were just exchanging timeouts at this point. So instead of getting a stop, they hit a big 3 in the corner. Loyola does, puts them up by 5. Dayton does answer with a layup of their own, but then at this point, they're cut it to 3, but now there's only 8 seconds to go. Loyola does their job. They hit the free throws, go up by 5. Final score, 77-72. So it felt like Dayton let it slip away a little bit. There was a couple of big 3s in the corner, really. That 3-point shot, man. Tonight it seemed, I don't know what the percentages or stats would say, but when it came to big 3s later in the second half, Loyola was hitting them. Dayton had a 4-point play at one point in the game that seemed like it could have been big. Holmes with an absolutely amazing pass at one point for a Dayton 3 in the corner. They're going to him down low. He's kind of facing the basket. The ball's going over his shoulder. Well, rather than like possessing it in air, he kind of takes it and taps it out to the guy in the corner for a 3. Brea, I believe it was. And all for naught, though. And I can see why people see Holmes as an NBA prospect. There's tons of athletic ability there for his size. He's long. So if he can work on a 3-point shot and become pretty consistent with a 3 and really dedicate to defense, I think he can stick around in the NBA for sure. And Cheeks, I felt like, had a big night. So you could say, I feel like this Flyers team with the good guards and Holmes, that's the recipe. Have a somewhat of a star player, whether if it's a guard or not, and then you have a good guard plays. They're not very deep though. Although maybe you don't need to be deep in this tournament this year. Although it hurt them a little bit tonight with foul trouble. Big fella Jack almost had a jam early. A couple of these guys on contested layups that look like maybe weren't the most contested. They had clean looks at the basket, and they got their shot blocked. I mean, I feel like you just got to ram it home, man. Just go for the jam, right? Then possibly you're going to draw a foul. Can these guys not dunk? You're kidding me. I know Santos and Holmes can dunk. I think Jack can dunk. I don't know about Cheeks, maybe not. Elvis, come on. A couple of these guys, they should all be able to dunk. Brea? I don't know. They just had a couple layups blocked tonight where if they would have just rammed it home with some authority, I don't think, could have been a different story. This could have been, we could have been looking at a 74-70 Dayton. All right, well, hope they're not falling apart late here in the season. Now, this is a couple losses in their last three, I believe. Maybe two out of their last three, 2-2 in the last four. So if they can finish out, win out, whatever they got, 2 or 3 games left, have a strong A10 tournament, if not win the thing, maybe at least get to the finals, I think they can still get into the big tournament. And if they run the table, we're still looking at a decent seed. But now we're slipping back into the 7, 8, 9 seed range. Not good. That's 7 versus 10 is always a bit of a trap game. 8 versus 9, congratulations, you won. Now you're playing a number 1 seed. Although I don't know how great, outside that top 5, 10 teams, maybe 5 or 10 good teams this year, maybe 5 really good teams, another 5 that are fairly good. Once you get through 11 through 30, man, everybody's about even, so. But can Dayton take out a number 1 or a number 2 seed? I don't know. So hopefully they can at worst try to get somewhere in that top 6 range seed. They got to win out if they want a 6 seed. All right, I've gone on way too long for a Flyers regular season game. This is ridiculous. All right, guys, boom. If you watched, thank you. Go Flyers. I guess, right? I'm a big fan. Trust me.